You have a friend. They're always there. But after every interaction, you feel drained, empty, like something was taken from you. You don't understand why. They seem nice, but something is fundamentally wrong. Today, we're exposing the friendship that's silently destroying you. Toxic friendships are rarely obvious. They're not abusive in ways you can point to. They're subtle. They feel normal until one day you realize you're exhausted all the time. Your mental health is declining, your energy is gone, and it all traces back to one person. Society talks about toxic relationships, breakups, divorce, but toxic friendships? Nobody talks about them. Yet they're equally damaging, sometimes worse, because friendship is supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be unconditional. When it becomes predatory, the betrayal cuts deeper. The danger of toxic friendships is they masquerade as real connection. You don't see it coming. You think you've found your person, someone who gets you, someone you can trust. Then, slowly, subtly, the dynamic becomes one-sided, and by then, you're already emotionally invested. Energy vampires are real. They're people who systematically drain your emotional, mental, and sometimes physical energy. They don't necessarily do it consciously, but the effect is the same. You're left depleted. They're left energized. The exchange is fundamentally exploitative. The friendship that's killing you often starts beautifully. Intense bonding, shared secrets. We're best friends. We're different from other friendships. This bonding creates a sense of special obligation. You owe them loyalty beyond what's healthy. You start noticing patterns. They always call when they need something, rarely ask how you are. When you share your struggles, they redirect to their problems. Conversations become entirely about them. But you excuse it, they're going through a hard time. The hard time never ends. There's always a crisis, always a reason why their problems matter more than yours, always a guilt trip if you don't prioritize them. You become the emotional support system. They become the center of the universe. Boundaries are impossible with these people. Every time you try to set a limit, they respond with hurt, anger, or silent treatment. I thought you cared about me. Real friends don't abandon each other. These are manipulation tactics disguised as friendship. You find yourself performing for their approval, sharing less of yourself, monitoring what you say, afraid of disappointing them or triggering their reaction. The friendship that was supposed to be safe becomes a minefield. Physical symptoms appear. You're tired all the time. Sleep doesn't help. You have stomach issues before seeing them. Anxiety spikes. Your body is telling you the truth before your mind accepts it. This friendship is toxic. The deepest pain is the confusion. They're not a bad person, at least not entirely. They have good moments. They can be kind. This inconsistency is what makes it so hard to leave. You hold on to the good moments and ignore the damage. You isolate yourself to avoid them. But then you feel guilty. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're too sensitive. Maybe you're ungrateful. Self-doubt creeps in. Toxic people are experts at making you question your own reality. Other friends notice something is wrong. They comment on your mood, your exhaustion, your withdrawn nature. But when you defend your toxic friend, they stop saying anything. They can see what you can't yet admit. This is the beginning of awareness. Something feels deeply wrong. The friendship is supposed to feel good. Instead, it feels like an obligation, like a burden, like you're drowning while pretending everything is fine. Today changes that. Energy depletion from toxic friendships is measurable. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your immune system weakens. You get sick more often. Sleep quality declines. These aren't psychological. They're physiological consequences of chronic emotional stress. Mental health deteriorates. Anxiety increases. Depression deepens. Self-esteem plummets. You stop believing in your own judgment. You question your worth constantly. The toxic friend becomes your internal critic, echoing in your head even when they're not around. Your other relationships suffer. You're so emotionally drained by the toxic friendship that you have nothing left for healthy relationships. Family feels the distance. Other friends feel neglected. Your social circle contracts because of one draining person. Work suffers. Productivity declines. Focus disappears. You're thinking about the drama, the hurt, the unfairness. Your performance reviews suffer. Career advancement stalls. All because emotional energy meant for work goes to managing a toxic friendship. You develop anxiety around interactions with them. Before seeing them, you're already tense. During the interaction, you're hypervigilant, monitoring their moods. After, you're exhausted from the emotional labor. The friendship becomes pure work. Financial impact happens too. You overgive to keep the friendship stable, buying them things, paying for outings, loaning money temporarily. Your resources flow toward them while you sacrifice. Financial enmeshment deepens dependency. Your sense of self erodes. You've spent so long accommodating them, managing their emotions, prioritizing their needs, that you've lost track of who you are. Your values compromised, your boundaries non existent, your identity fused with theirs. You become codependent. Their mood determines your mood. Their crisis becomes your emergency. You feel responsible for their happiness. Their problems are your problems. The line between you and them completely disappears. Resentment builds. You're angry all the time, but you can't express it to them. They'd react badly, so you suppress it. Resentment turns into bitterness. You feel trapped. The friendship that was supposed to be joyful is now a prison. You lose yourself in service to them. Hobbies abandoned. Interests set aside. Goals postponed. Everything revolves around them. You become an extension of their life, not a person with your own life. Trust issues develop. If someone so close to you could be toxic, how can you trust anyone? You become suspicious, hypervigilant in other relationships. The toxic friendship teaches you the world is dangerous. People are selfish. Shame emerges. You feel ashamed for not leaving sooner. Ashamed for being so blind. Ashamed for allowing yourself to be treated this way. Shame keeps you silent, prevents you from telling others, keeps you trapped. You engage in self-harm behaviors, not necessarily physical, but emotional. You stay in situations that hurt you. You accept treatment you'd never accept from anyone else. Shame and low self-worth fuel self-destructive loyalty. At the lowest point, you consider ending the friendship, but the anxiety is paralyzing. What if they hurt themselves? What if they tell others terrible things about you? What if you're actually wrong and they're not toxic? Paralysis keeps you trapped. This is what destruction looks like: a person hollowed out, exhausted, confused, trapped in a relationship that masquerades as friendship. But recognition is beginning. You're ready to understand what's really happening. The first red flag: all conversations are about them. They ask questions about you but don't listen to answers. They interrupt. They redirect back to themselves. Genuine interest in your life is absent. Everything is viewed through the lens of how it affects them. Second red flag: they expect you to drop everything for them. Your plans are less important. Your time is less valuable. Canceling on them is betrayal. Canceling on you is understandable. The asymmetry is stark. Third red flag: they're the victim in every story. Everyone else is wrong. Everyone else has wronged them. They never take accountability. They never apologize genuinely. It's always someone else's fault. Always. Fourth red flag: they isolate you. They criticize your other friends. They question your family. Slowly, they position themselves as the only person who truly understands you. Other relationships become obstacles to your friendship with them. Fifth red flag: your help is never enough. You sacrifice and they minimize it. You show up and they criticize how. You give and they want more. No amount of effort satisfies them. The goalpost constantly moves. Sixth red flag: they weaponize guilt. After everything I've done for you, I thought you were different. Real friends don't abandon people. They make you feel obligated to stay despite the pain. Guilt becomes the leash. Seventh red flag: they're jealous of your other relationships. When you're happy with someone else, they suddenly need you more. When you're pursuing something for yourself, they sabotage it. Your progress triggers their insecurity. Eighth red flag, they share secrets you told them in confidence. They use your vulnerabilities against you. They betray your trust repeatedly but expect unconditional loyalty. The asymmetry of trust is profound. Ninth red flag, they love bomb when you try to leave. The moment you hint at distancing, they're suddenly perfect. They apologize. They're attentive. They make promises. You relapse. Then the cycle returns. 10th red flag, they never celebrate your wins. Your promotion, they're indifferent or find problems with it. Your new relationship, they're skeptical or jealous. Your achievements, somehow, it's about how they're not achieving. They're incapable of genuine joy for you. The pattern becomes clear. This friendship is extractive, not generative. It takes and rarely gives. It demands and rarely offers. It centers them completely. Recognition of this pattern is the turning point. You start seeing the manipulation clearly, the guilt trips, the victim narratives, the isolation tactics, the love bombing cycles. What seemed like normal friendship is revealed as strategic control. Your eyes open. The hardest recognition, they might not be consciously evil. They might genuinely not understand their impact, but understanding doesn't matter. Harm is harm. Intention doesn't erase damage. You can have compassion for their wounds while still protecting yourself from their weapons. You recognize that leaving this friendship doesn't make you selfish. It makes you sane. Protecting your energy isn't abandonment, it's survival. Setting boundaries isn't cruelty, it's honoring your own worth. The reframing is crucial. Recognition is freedom's first step. You see the truth. You're no longer gaslit. You're no longer confused. You're no longer blaming yourself for their damage. Clarity has arrived. The hardest part of leaving is the guilt. You feel like you're abandoning them. You worry about their reaction. You fear being painted as the villain. But here's the truth. Their reaction is their responsibility, not yours. Your guilt is not your obligation. Boundaries start small. You don't have to end the friendship dramatically. You can slowly create distance, respond to messages later, be less available, stop initiating, watch who follows you and who forgets about you when you're not serving them, when they push back, and they will stay firm. I need space right now. I can't help with this. That doesn't work for me. You don't owe explanation or justification. Short, clear, repeated. This is the script. Expect the escalation. When boundaries are set, toxic people often intensify their behavior. They'll play victim harder. They'll guilt trip stronger. They'll make promises. This is not softening. This is panic at losing control. Don't capitulate. Find your support. People who have your back. People who encourage you to protect yourself. People who don't minimize your experience. Talk to them. Let them remind you why you're leaving when doubt creeps in. Process the grief. You're mourning a friendship you thought was real. The betrayal, the wasted time, the unfulfilled potential. Let yourself feel this fully. Grief is necessary. Cry, journal. Let it move through you. Resist the urge to reconnect. The friendship will seem less toxic after some distance. You'll romanticize the good moments. You'll think maybe you were too harsh. This is normal. Don't act on it. Wait. The clarity will return. Don't badmouth them to mutual friends. You might be tempted to expose them, to validate your experience, to warn others. Resist. Take the high road. Your escape is your validation. You don't need others' confirmation. If mutual friends pressure you to reconcile, hold your boundary. I've decided that friendship isn't working for me. You don't need their agreement. You don't need to convince them. Your reasons are private and valid. Reclaim your time. Notice how much space they were taking up, how many hours you spent managing the drama. Now, those hours are yours. Use them for yourself, for healing, for joy, for people who deserve you. Notice how your body changes. Sleep improves. Anxiety decreases. Physical symptoms fade. You're not sick all the time. Your body relaxes. This physical shift is your confirmation you made the right choice. Your other relationships improve. You have energy again. You're present for people who matter. You're not constantly drained. The relief is profound. People around you notice you're different, lighter, happier, more yourself. You might encounter them. Social circles overlap. You run into them. Stay cordial. You don't need to be rude, but you also don't need to resume closeness. Friendly distance is the appropriate stance. If they reach out apologizing or wanting to reconnect, pause. Real accountability includes changed behavior over time, not words. Trust their actions. If they respect your distance, maybe low contact friendship is possible. If they push, you have your answer. You're free now, not angry, not bitter, free. You protected yourself. You honored your worth. You chose yourself. This is what that looks like. As you heal, you reflect on how you got here. Why were you willing to accept mistreatment? What wounds in you made you tolerate toxicity? Self-compassion is crucial. You weren't weak. You were human. You were conditioned to prioritize others over yourself. You identify patterns. This wasn't your first toxic friendship, was it? There's a pattern of choosing emotionally unavailable people, of tolerating mistreatment, of sacrificing yourself for connection. Understanding the pattern prevents repetition. You begin rebuilding yourself. The person they wanted you to be, accommodating, self-sacrificing, endlessly giving, wasn't you. You reclaim your actual values, your boundaries, your preferences. You become yourself again. Healthy friendships look different. People ask about you and listen to answers. There's balance. Both give and receive. Both initiate sometimes. Both have other friendships and they celebrate that. This is what normal looks like. Remember it. You develop healthy friend evaluation criteria. Do they respect your time? Do they celebrate your wins? Do they hold you accountable lovingly? Can they admit mistakes? Do they have their own life? These become the baseline. You stop accepting breadcrumbs as friendship. If someone only contacts you when they need something, they're not your friend. If someone disappears when you're struggling, they're not your friend. Consistency matters. Reciprocity matters. You learn to trust your gut. That feeling of dread before seeing someone, trust it. That exhaustion after interaction, trust it. Your body knows. Your intuition knows. You don't need proof. You don't need permission. Your discomfort is data. You practice saying no without guilt. No, I can't help with that. No, I'm not available. No, that doesn't work for me. Guilt is not a prerequisite for saying no. You can say no and be kind. You can say no and care. You can say no and still be a good person. You recognize that ending a friendship doesn't mean you failed. It means you succeeded in protecting yourself. It means you grew. It means you valued yourself enough to leave. This is strength. This is wisdom. You become the friend you wish you'd had, emotionally available, consistently present, genuinely interested, celebrating wins, holding space for struggles, respecting boundaries. You model what healthy friendship actually looks like. You might still carry some hurt, some bitterness, some what ifs. That's normal. Healing isn't forgetting, it's integrating. You learn from it, you grow from it, you don't let it poison you. So, here's the final truth. Toxic friendships are real. They're damaging, and they're survivable. You can leave, you can heal, you can build a life filled with people who genuinely value you. You deserve friendships that feel good, friendships that energize, not drain, friendships that are mutual, not extractive. If this resonated with you, subscribe. There's more freedom coming your way. The friendship that's killing you doesn't get to define your life. You do. Choose yourself.